we got a cup of coffee in here, please?
Damn good coffee and hot.
Wake up, America. You've got a dog that needs walking. That's right, sunshine. Just put on a big pot of strong coffee and get ready to type your little hate mail with your opinions about kumbaya and flat earth insanity. Stand-up comedy? You want stand-up comedy? Well, we've got sit-down comedy. It's time for Coffee with the Dog. You make me laugh.
You give me gas. It's more like it. You give me gas. I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know. I just don't know. I just don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know. All right. Yeah. Good morning. Good morning, people of Earth and other planets too, I guess. If you're on another planet, please do download the app and tell your friends on whatever planet you're on. Today is Friday. You like Friday. Friday, September 29th. 2023, the day the United States federal government will shut down later today. I think at midnight, right? Anyway, if you work for the government, that means you're probably not going to be getting a paycheck next week. Lots of services will end. Your national parks will be closed, all to protect one Donald Trump, who it's not going to end up protecting anyway. The judiciary is going to work, even though they're not going to get paid. It's not going to work. But that's what they're trying to do. Make no doubt about it. Because the continuing resolution, the deals that were made months ago. The Republicans got everything they wanted from Biden months ago when we went through this. But Donald Trump said shut down the government, and they're all obliging. If you don't think that's a fucking cult, you got nothing going on between the ears. I'm sorry. If you bet on my pick last night, you lost the house. I'm sorry. And that whole stuff about moving in with me, that ain't happening. So you blew it. You trusted me. You fucked up. Sorry about that. But you still have a chance to redeem yourself. I have a chance to redeem myself. Although you're probably out of money to bet now because you lost everything last night. Sorry, man. That's the problem with going 0 for 1 on the big one. I really blew that last night. Anyway, all I could say is sorry. And I could say sorry, and you're not moving in here. Anyway, I keep saying anyway. Willie just sent me something. Oh, it's man. It's audio I asked him to do last night. I told him there was no rush on it. Anyway, there is no sunshine here. It's still cold and rainy. And I hope you have it. I sincerely hope you have a beautiful day wherever you are. Here, it is still depressing. And I don't want to be a doom and gloom guy, but it's kind of my nature. I'm foreseeing, this is my prediction. I hope my prediction goes as well as my pick for football last night. I hope, but I'm predicting my Farmer's Almanac, or my non-Farmer's Almanac is saying this is going to be a cold and dreary autumn and winter, and I guess all we could do is just deal with it. That's all we could do. Dianne Feinstein has finally given up her seat in the Senate. Not that she has resigned. She died. Rest in peace, Diane Feinstein. Now she should have obviously she's been crazy as a loon for the last couple of years. She should have taken that time and lived a life. She spent her last days trying to serve in the Senate without a clue about what's going on. She didn't know she was like Glenn Campbell at the end. Glenn Campbell at the end of his life. There was a documentary, and his wife asked him what day it was. I don't know. What year is it? I don't need to know that. That was Dianne Feinstein. Now, she lived a life in public service, but, and I'm not trying to be cruel here, but she should have given up the ghost a long time ago. Not necessarily died a long time ago, but she should have given up her seat probably a couple of decades ago. But the thing is, with politics, it's so fucking addictive. And maybe this is the problem why I can't get on radio anymore, because I just keep with the F-bombs. It's like I've lost the ability to say a sentence without some profanity in it. But this is the problem. I mean, the addictiveness of the power and prestige that goes with the office makes it impossible, and the money. Let's not forget about the money. The dirty money that's coming in makes it impossible for people to walk away, do the right thing. I don't know. Obviously, I should know. If I had a civics class in high school, I probably would know this stuff. I don't know where we go from here as far as filling that seat, whether there's going to be a special election, or I don't know. We're going to try and work it into election day this year. I don't know. Do you know? If you know, inform me. I'll probably look it up later on today to see exactly what the process is. But yeah. Good morning, GD. GD's in and good morning, Kelly, as well. GD's in the chat room. He said, but Glenn Campbell remembered all his songs. That's true. He could. That's the mystery of music. And I've talked to lots of Alzheimer's and dementia experts about that phenomenon, because music seems to bring the brain back to life, the human spirit back to life. And I will be witnessing that firsthand later on today, when I will be playing for quite a few people who are afflicted. It's very weird, the phenomenon of music and its effect on people who, for no other way to explain it, have lost their mind, have lost their personality, have lost who they are. And it brings them back to life. It's like a miracle. It's magic. It's unexplainable. And there has been no explanation for it to date. Later on today at 10:15, we're expecting Ray Shunky. Ray Shunky was the first Polynesian NFL player. He played for the Redskins. And this, he's written a book called Fat Girl Sings. It's about a lot of things. It's about his life. It's kind of a memoir. He's been very successful in business and political campaigns, believe it or not. Very active in the Clinton campaign. Not Hillary. Bill. I'm sorry with the, I'm still sneezy and I'm complaining. I'm a chronic complainer. I have chronic complaintitis. So Ray Shunky will be here later on today. I'm interested to get, first of all, his take on racial identification. And because the Redskins are no longer the Redskins, they are the Washington Commanders now. And I don't think being a person who was not mainstream whitey guy in the NFL, a lot of black players in the NFL. I don't know if there were any Asians in the NFL, none that I can remember during those years. And Polynesians in the NFL, the racial disparity. I wonder if he was sensitive at all to the issue about why the Redskins had to change their name to the Commanders. I don't think it was a thing then. And by a thing, I mean white people didn't recognize it as a thing. And I don't think Native Americans truly ever gave a fuck about that. I mean, again, I've said this so many times. In New Mexico, where I was, I was the minority, and there were a lot of Chicanos. There were a lot of Indians, of Native Americans who called themselves Indians and preferred Indians. They did not like to be called Native Americans. And quite a few Redskin fans, and I never heard one of them complain about Redskins as a name. And no, we're talking a long time ago, and maybe they just weren't speaking up. But I believe that the name change stuff was the product of white people, white liberals who just felt guilty about all that stuff. And maybe there's guilt, maybe rightfully so, but that doesn't mean that the people who were affected by it were the ones calling for change. I don't think that was the case. I don't think anything happens until white people make it happen. I mean, on political change and political correctness. I don't mean building stuff. Obviously, America was built on slave labor. We don't like to recognize that because that doesn't change anything. That doesn't change. They're not changing names of football teams or anything. They're not even recognizing that on a lot of things. But again, coming back to my point, I don't think Native Americans were behind the name change of the Redskins. The Braves are still called the Braves, right? Atlanta Braves. I don't know. We'll talk to Ray about what his feelings on it. But a lot of things, racial identification within the National Football League at that time. And I want to find out if he finds the John Prine song that I do quite often. People think I wrote this song too. Whenever I perform, it's called "Let's Talk Dirty in Hawaiian." Is that offensive? I would think it would be. We'll get Ray's take on it though later on. He'll be here at 10:15. Glenn's saying Governor Newsom will appoint a replacement senator, but that's not long term, right? That's short term, and then there has to be. I don't know. I don't know how they. You know what? Ray is here now. I was expecting him at 10:15. I'm prepared now, and I would rather do it now. Ray Shunky is here. You know what? I'm going to take a really quick break for the commercial stuff. Get this stuff out of the way, and when we come back, we're going to meet Ray Shunky, and we'll talk to him about some of the things I was just talking about. I was thinking he's in Hawaii, and 10:15 was really very early for him. Maybe he's on the East Coast or something. Anyway, I'll be right back. True Fire is our sponsor today. You know all about True Fire. Best place to learn guitar or learn guitar online from some of the greatest players and teachers in the game. True Fire. Check it out.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Over 2 million guitar players worldwide learn, practice, and play with TrueFire. Our learning tools and massive library of video lessons will ignite your technical skills, harmonic knowledge, rhythm playing, and soloing chops. TrueFire's educators are the best in the biz, from Grammy Award winners to world-renowned artists. You'll have access to an unparalleled faculty of over 300 top-notch blues, rock, jazz, country, fingerstyle, and acoustic guitar educators. Using our desktop and mobile apps, you'll work with TrueFire's multi-angle video lessons on any device, anytime, anywhere. Integrated learning tools such as video synced tab and notation, slow-mo, looping, practice jam tracks, and many more handy controls accelerate your learning experience. TrueFire style-specific learning paths guide you every step of the way. Use our assessment tools to find your starting point, then follow our lesson recommendations, and track your progress as you work through your personalized TrueFire study plan. Progress faster with private one-on-one instruction, group lessons, multi-track video jams, live streams, song lessons, student forums, TrueFire's Riff magazine, premium jam tracks, and much, much more. With thousands of 5-star ratings and reviews from amateur and pro players alike, you'll find yourself in good company with the world's most comprehensive guitar learning platform. Grab your guitar and ignite your musicality. Sign up free for an all-access trial today.
Willie's here. You're muted, Willie. You're muted. There you go.
Hello.
Hello. Good morning.
Good
You're late
morning.
for work.
I what?
You're late for work.
Okay,
Yep.
so that's actually a question that I want to ask you because we never really talked about it, and so I'm always unsure. Should I just be in the back like before the show starts and you can
Yes,
bring
you
me in
should.
whenever?
Yes, you
Okay.
should. You should have been. I thought HR made this clear to you. We're going to have to put you on a performance improvement plan. We're going to have to dock your pay, all that kind of stuff. Anyway, good morning. How's the weather where you are?
I mean, it's a little overcast.
Uh,
It's not terrible though, but
we
but
got
it's
like
been
an early
extremely
winter
rainy here
here.
too though. Like even when it doesn't rain, it still looks cloudy and overcast for the last like it's been like that ever since I've been here pretty much. There's been two like really really sunny days, but it's South Dakota, so it changes like four different times throughout the day.
All right. Yeah, I
Uh,
think we got an early winter here. Generally, this time of year is beautiful. This is the best time of year
right.
in New York. It's generally like 70, sunny, not oppressively hot, not cold. It's just a great time of year. But it's been raining for 8 days now. 8 days
I
with a
blame
little bit of sun.
scientists.
Huh?
I blame scientists.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But
Well, I mean, you know that they manufacture like rain clouds and shit now, right? Like that's a thing they're doing.
please, not on Long Island. They don't.
No. But okay, hang on.
Okay.
Sure, of course not on Long Island. But um, the reason I bring that up, bro, is because like you know everything on this planet is pretty much kind of an ebb and flow. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like shit has to go the way it's kind of supposed to go. You see what I'm saying? Like,
I do.
and
Um,
I think that creating moisture because that's what they're doing. They're putting more moisture in the air. You know what I mean? On a planet that's already 70% water. Like something to me says that if I put more water on a planet that's mostly water, God, that's going to create a lot of different kind of problems, don't you think?
Yes, I do. I just want to announce a trade. A trade has been made in the National Podcasting League. We have traded you to the Flat Earth podcast for a player to be named later. It just came across the wire right now. You will be playing for the Flat Earth team come Monday morning. We got your jersey coming.
So my career is over. That's what you're telling me. You're
Well,
telling me.
no, actually, it's probably you have a shot at the championship now because
I got no chance of going
or,
up. I know that.
or
There's
the
no.
playoffs because the Flat Earth podcast does so much better than this show does. I mean, they're probably, I don't know, they inflate their numbers, but I would say they're probably 5 million loyal flat earthers, dedicated complete flat earthers. Anyway, we have to get to a guest, and I thought he wasn't coming on until 10:15, but he's
Oh,
here
that's
now.
great. I'm
Yeah.
glad he's here.
Before we bring him on, football last night. I hope you did not take my advice and bet the house or the ranch on Green Bay. I don't know what happened. I think maybe it was rain cloud. Green Bay was involved in manufacturing rain clouds or something when they should
Yeah,
have been playing football.
yeah. They were. Yeah, yeah. They
Yeah.
were.
So let's get to. I'm sorry, but there is a chance for redemption if you did not bet the ranch or all your money on Green Bay. You could start over, and believe me, I'm not going to screw up again. The rest of my picks are locks, every last one of them. It was just
Every
last night.
last one of them.
Uh,
Every one of them.
yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Well, I
I'm
was a
with
little
you.
bit lazy in picking that Detroit game, and you know what? The Lions, maybe they're for real. Maybe you know what? I think our guest will know better.
The Lions are leading the division, bro.
I know, and they've won some impressive games already this year. So,
Yeah.
uh, I hope I'm pronouncing his last name right. Ray Shunky was among the earliest
I'm pretty sure
Polynesian.
that's right.
I hope so. He was among the earliest Polynesian NFL players and was inducted to the Polynesian Football Hall of Fame in 2015. He had a 12-year career as an offensive lineman. That's pretty offensive. Offensive lineman with the Dallas Cowboys and Washington Redskins. Yeah, I could just see like you getting cancel cultured because he was an offensive lineman. That's offensive. I'm sorry. I'm getting sidetracked here. Dallas Cowboys and Washington Redskins, which I want to talk about. The name. In 2002, he was selected as one of the top 100 players in the history of the Redskins, not the Commanders, the Redskins. He is a retired CEO of Shunky and Associates, a firm specializing in design and funding and administration of executive compensation and benefit programs for large, private, and publicly traded companies in the Mid-Atlantic region and Hawaii. And he's the author of a new book called Fat Girl Sings. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ray Shunky to Coffee with the Dog. Ray, welcome.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Now, before we get started here, a couple of things.
Go ahead.
First of all, the Washington Redskins are now the Commanders. When you were playing, was the name an issue?
It was never an issue for me, and I tried to explain to people and defend the name the Redskins. I'm Hawaiian, so
Right.
I certainly understand being called names, and racism is a big deal in my life. And when we had a home in Santa Fe, New Mexico for a while, and I went out to the reservations and talked to the members of the tribe and asked them how they felt about that. And they said, guess what? The name of our football team is called the Redskins.
Right.
I said, so what's the deal here? He said, it isn't a problem for us. It's a problem for everybody else.
I don't think for everybody else. And I kind of started with that this morning because I went to school in New Mexico and knew a lot of Native Americans, and they called themselves Indians. They didn't even know like the term Native Americans at that time. But nobody had a problem with Redskins at that time because there was a Redskins team in their junior league then. So
yeah,
I think it's white people that got upset.
Well, what I encouraged the ownership of the team to said, try to, what the Indians are on the reservation need is help, financial help. They're looking for jobs, their schools, help them out, put money into it and really embrace the name. Of course, that went, in one ear and out the other. They're looking at me like I'm crazy. But really, if you want to cherish the name, then do something about it.
That's the best way to handle it. You're absolutely right. If you care about the people, do something for the people. The name change is not really helping them in any way. Good point.
Well, and I would say that if they were active in those kind of ways and doing those kind of things regularly, I don't think anybody ever would have tripped on them.
Yeah, nobody would have said a word.
Yeah.
If anything, they would have praised the Redskins operation for what they were doing. But that went on deaf ears. And I was trying to promote something and save the name because I cherished my 10 years with them. I mean, I had a wonderful career. Played on some great teams, great players. Played against some of the all-time pros, Hall of Famers. So I cherish those times.
Will you now? I want to come back to. Well, let me ask the next question first, because I want to talk about your football career too, and I want to know if you were there when Lawrence Taylor ended Joe Theismann's career. That's what I want to know. But
I wasn't.
You weren't there. Okay, so
I was just before that.
Okay, yeah, I thought you might have still been playing at that time. So.
No, I wasn't. Joe was a young rookie when I was playing. I had to sort of counsel him on how to behave himself.
Wow, very cool.
Well, you didn't do a very good job on that.
Well, behave himself, and the way he strutted around, I said, "You got to be careful, kid."
Yeah.
Because a lot of people may take your actions in the wrong way,
Right.
and you don't want to get hurt.
I sing with a band, and I sing a song, a John Prine song called "Let's Talk Dirty in Hawaiian." Do you know the song?
No, I don't know that song.
I wanted to know if you
dirty
felt
in Hawaiian.
Yeah, because it's I would think because we're talking about name change and racial identification. It kind of mocks the natural language of Hawaii, and I'm thinking that's offensive. And I didn't even think about it until you were scheduled to be on the program. Like, how do people react to? Because it's a silly song. It's meant to be silly.
Well, the Hawaiian language is a dead language. My mother spoke it, and as a child, and a lot of the elder Hawaiians spoke Hawaiian. There's a Hawaiian school called Kamehameha, and they teach Hawaiian. But for the most part, the song is, the words of Hawaiian language is only kept alive in slang or in song, and that's it.
Wow. So maybe I'm not going to get in trouble for that. I've been doing it for 30 years, and nobody has ever said anything.
Yeah, so it's.
But you never know. Nobody said anything about the Redskins for all those years either.
That's right. Well, you just want to be careful when you're in Hawaii. You don't want to piss off some moke. We call them mokes. These are big Hawaiian guys, and they're not very nice.
Right. Now, your book is called Fat Girl Sings. I want to know the significance of the title because. I think this. Oh, I don't want to put it over your face.
No, that's all right. Put it up there. Put it up there. There we go.
Fat Girl Sings.
That's me. That's me as a 10-year-old.
Right. But I'm wondering about the significance of the title though, because I think it comes from "It Ain't Over Till the Fat Lady Sings," right?
Well,
but that wouldn't. It suggests that it's over. Like it's not over for you. You still have a lot.
That was just the beginning.
Okay.
That was the beginning. Not
Fat Girl though.
The song hasn't ended yet. The song hadn't ended. It just began.
Okay.
Fat Girl Sings was really a result of, as a 10-year-old Hawaiian kid who was fat, sweet and nice and brown, was going to school in Texas. And in the 5th grade, as a 10-year-old, the older kids, particularly the 6th graders, started calling me Fat Girl.
Oh.
And to humiliate me.
Right.
And then they would gang up on me. And the big thing back then, I'm sure it was the same in your schools too. They would take your pants off in front of everybody.
Wow.
And that was a big deal. And so they would surround me, grab me and pull my pants down and laugh. And kids who were watching in the window would laugh. And that really stigmatized me.
Right.
A great deal. And it really hurt me. And so I had to deal with that, those taunts and that bullying. So then I get up to junior high. Now I'm in the 7th grade, and I'm going to, I'm really excited. I've got on my bike, and I come up there, and the word gets out that the 8th and 9th graders are going to take your pants off after school. And I say, holy moly, I got to do something about this. So I started hiding my bike at the back of the school. And then one of the teachers comes out and says, what are your bike doing back? You got to park it in the front of the school. And I didn't want to do that because I knew the guys who were going to find me, they would get me. So anyway, so I parked my bike. And then this was like for the first week of school. And then on a Friday, I decided, well, I just got to face up to it. So I walk out there, and these guys all surround me, these 8th and 9th graders. And so they're calling me names, and they're calling me Fat Girl. And then one kid comes up and punches me in the face. And I'm bleeding, and I'm stunned. I'm totally stunned. And the principal comes out, he breaks everything up. He takes me up to his office, and he says, Raymond, you're going to have to learn to do something about this. And I was going to say, what am I supposed to do? And he didn't tell me. So the next time I get out, and then I'm now playing catch with some friends on the side of the school, and these ninth graders come over and they steal our football. And I said, screw this. So I went after them and I tackled them, just knocked them right straight to the ground. And now we're playing on, this is cement tennis courts. And I hit the ground and I scrape up my face, but they get their knees, their backs, their face. And I really hurt them. And I said, don't take our football. And then I get up and guess what? They do it again and again. And I keep tackling them and I keep hitting them and hitting them. And I become incredibly powerful, at least in my own mind. And so then as I continue to go through school in the 8th and 9th grade, and then I want to play football. And I'm moving up to the 9th graders, and I go into the locker room, and the high school kids come in, and one of the big guys on the team looks at me, comes there and slugs me right in the stomach. And I'm gasping for air, and I just jump up and try to hit him in the face. He said, don't you ever do that to me. I said, well, don't you ever hit me. And what happened from that point on was there was this constant need for me, for whatever reason, to be singled out and attacked. And I needed to learn that I needed to protect myself. And what I learned was that there are bullies everywhere, and if you don't take them on, they're going to make life miserable for you. And this has continued, which is crazy. I know it's hard to believe that when I had a very successful business, there are people who are still trying to bully you that were business people.
Right. We
we
had one that was president not too long ago.
Yeah. You mean
exactly that.
You get a guy like that walks into your office or building and demands that, that you stand up, and he demands respect. Then you have to figure out how you're going to deal with that. He's an asshole, or you're going to say, no, he's not. He's an asshole, but I'm going to kowtow to him. And so I had to learn those lessons early. I didn't learn them early, but I also learned that if somebody bullies you, you need to take them on right then and there. And as I got older, and as I moved up through the chain, particularly when you get into professional football, where you would think that you wouldn't have people would try to bully you because, it's a violent game. Right. And yet they try to bully you, and they can't, which is credible. Football players in the professional level can be bullied.
Yeah,
that's what's so nutso. You wouldn't think that.
I would think that. I was bullied as a kid, and then I got big, and for a time I was becoming a bully when I was getting big. I was in the weight room every day, and I was getting huge. But then I realized that I was becoming what I hated and what victimized me. But I got a question for you on that, because. And this has been a very weird week, and we'll talk about coincidences and stuff. But this week started off with a guy who was talking about masculinity and how men have lost masculinity and all this kind of stuff. But a lot of this, questions comes to the question of how do we define men and all this stuff. But in the terms of bullying, you were a strong kid. Obviously, you had you had a resilience and toughness about you, even though you maybe didn't identify that yourself as that, but to put up with it. But not every kid who is bullied, some kids are small and frail, and if they stand up, they could end up really getting very badly hurt. No?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So should they still stand up
yes,
to it?
They still should stand up. You bet, because bullies are cowards. That's what you got to remember.
Yeah.
They may be big, strong, black, white, Asian, you name it. They're really cowards. And once you can get that in your head, a little guy can take on a big bully and hurt him.
Right.
Right.
But you got it. But the problem with it takes enormous courage to do that for a little person to do it. I was bigger.
Right.
But I was dealing with gangs of people.
Right.
Yeah.
And I had to stand. What does it take? It's scary as shit, man.
Yeah. Well,
You know,
I,
and
I
then
think,
it wasn't so crazy. Then you get into the NFL, and the same thing starts all over again.
yeah.
Right.
Well, I think life is cyclical like that. It will come around, and you'll have to learn the same lessons over and over again. That's another thing. I stopped believing in coincidence a long time ago. I think what I do here is trying to teach me stuff. I'm just a really slow learner, and I have to keep learning these same lessons over and over again, which is why you're here today teaching me again about a lesson I should have learned several times during these conversations. So, but that whole idea about standing up to people, because I was talking about tough love. I believe in tough love, but I also have regrets that sometimes this idea of standing up to a bully, if it backfires and the kid gets beat up really bad, then I'm going to feel incredibly guilty and like I gave him the wrong advice. That's something I struggle with.
Well, I tell you, if you get beat up, you still feel good about it. At least you stood up.
Right.
You know.
At least
That's
you
the
stood up
thing.
for
You
yourself.
know, there's a price. There's a
true.
price. You know,
Yeah.
when you play the, as I, I've spent a lot of time on the football field, and you pay a price. I mean, you
Right.
get the shit beat out of you, but hopefully,
especially as a lineman,
you
I'm
also
sure.
delivered a lot of blows yourself.
You know what? I'm
Yeah.
going to do this so I can put the book up here. I'm going to put you there so I
Are
can
you
put
going
the
to
book up
file us?
comfortably.
You're going to stack
Yeah.
us?
Yeah,
Yeah, there you go. We'll cover me up. Anyway, what was the purpose of writing the book? Did you do
Well,
it?
I was contacted by a couple people in the sports world that wanted to do a book, and they wanted me to do a book with them. And every time we tried to start it, it never worked out. And then finally I said, guess what, guys? I think I'll just do my own thing.
Wow.
And so I started writing the book. And what I found out in writing this book is that my story really started, as I shared with you earlier, as a 10-year-old being called fat girl, and being
Right.
called fat girl gave me strength to motivate me to take on bullies.
Right.
And as I progressed, I became, it's like a transition from a sweet brown kid, and I was a nice kid. I wasn't mean. I wasn't a bully. I didn't hurt people, but I was picked on. And so I had to learn to deal with this. And as I shared with you earlier, the principal said, Raymond, you're going to have to learn to deal with this.
Right.
And what surprised me, that bullying continued all the way through my life, and I told you about it, even in the NFL. And in the NFL, there are guys who can't deal with bullying. I mean, I had a player come to me and said, "This guy's grabbing my face mask." He's a defensive tackle, big one, strong, 280 pounds, 280-pound tackle, saying, "This guy is grabbing my face mask." The offensive player, which is illegal. I said,
Right.
Just grab his hand and pull straight down and you'll break his wrist. And he looked at me like, "Oh, that's really bad." I said, "You goddamn right, break his fucking wrist."
Right. Well,
And
he's gonna break your neck by grabbing the
Yeah,
face
but he
mask,
couldn't
right?
do it. He said, "I can't do that." I shake my head. "What do you mean you can't do that? This is the NFL, man. You
Right.
can do that." And he
Right.
didn't do it. So his life was miserable.
Wow. Did he have a long career? Because I would think if
Well,
he
he played well. He was a very gifted athlete. He was a defensive tackle. He was big. He was 6'6", he weighed 270. He was fast, quick, strong. But he was a nice guy.
Yeah.
So in football, nice guys, we all block, tackle hard, we hit hard. But then there's that element that somebody has a screw in their head, and they decide that they want to do something dirty. And
Right.
instead, they grab your face mask and they try to pull it up and try to forearm you in the face. And when you get a
it's
forearm in the
interesting.
face, I don't know what it's like for you guys, but your head goes flying backwards, and it hurts.
Right.
Then you come back and say, "Hey, motherfucker, don't ever do that again." And boom, he does it again.
Wow.
So then what do?
You got
You go back to your, to the ref and say, "Ref, did you see that?" And the ref says,
I mean,
"No,
some
I didn't
guys
see
do
that."
that.
Then you say, "Well, what am I going to do? I got to do something." So what do? Well, this is what I did. I grabbed the guy's face mask, I jerk it up, I had pads on my hands, and I had my wrist would block when I hit people with my fist. They would keep them from buckling. I had a fiberglass cast on it, so it locked it. Then I put sponge on it, so when the refs come by to touch it and make sure it was soft. But I left the edges open, so I had like brass knucks on. So when I pulled that face mask up and I started throwing my fist underneath it, I started cutting people up. I mean, cutting his nose, his face, his hair, and he couldn't get away from me because I had his face mask. He's 6'6", I'm 6'4", so he's here. He's jumping all around, and I'm just boom, boom, boom. And people are jumping on, flags are flying every way. The refs say they break it up, offsetting penalties, blood streaming down his face. And I said, "Look, motherfucker, you want to do this every play? And stop that shit." And guess what? He stops.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
Very
you
cool.
get people's attention, but you have to. There are times in life where you have to take, things in your own hands, or you have to deal with the consequences.
Yeah. I definitely hear you. I mean, again, I believe in what you're saying because for me, the only way out of bullying was to get a backbone, stand up to it, and face it. And once you do that, they see that, and then they start to leave you alone. But I always feel nervous about giving that advice because I would never want to be the reason some kid got really, really.
Yeah, it's scary. I mean, but I strongly feel,
Yeah.
regardless of size and who you are, and if you're small, and then grab a pipe or something. But bullying is not to be tolerated.
Wow.
That's not acceptable, and it comes in all forms. I mean, when I was in the business world, I had agreements drawn up, and I was in a large marketing group, and I had a Mid-Atlantic region as my territory. Nobody was supposed to come into it unless they called on me. Then I get a call from one of these large publicly traded companies in the region, and it was a Marriott Corporation, and they said, we had a call by somebody who represented your organization, your national organization, and I said, "You did?" So I called him up. I said, "What's the deal here? I thought you were supposed to call me. I thought we had an agreement that you're not supposed to do that." He said, "Well, don't worry about it, Ray. It's not a big." I said, "It's a big goddamn deal. This is part of my livelihood. You're supposed to agree.
Right.
You're supposed to call me if you're going to do something like that. You didn't call me." So, well, yeah. I said, "Let me tell you something, buddy. If you show up one more time and I catch you, you're never going to make it back to the airport." I said, "What do you mean?" "I will break your fucking back."
Wow.
I said, "What do you mean?" "Or I'll shoot you."
I don't know.
This is my livelihood. Get it through your goddamn head. We have an agreement. Honor it. But life. That's you have that in all phases of life. We look at the former president who went around and bullied everybody, and he got people kowtowed to agree to him. And the only way you stop people like that, you got to stand up to them.
Yeah, I agree. But you know what? That kind of language, because I've been in the business world too, and I got away with that a lot. But in today's world, I don't think,
Yeah, I mean, you could, and that's even.
Well, you can file a lawsuit. You can go to lawyers and have them do it.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Because even with the young thing, like, it would be great to, I hear somebody like you talk about overcome bullying, and I'm like, oh, I wish this guy could, like speak at schools and stuff, but a school wouldn't even want you to say stand up to your bully. They don't want you to do that. They want you to be non-confrontational and diplomatic, and they don't understand that bullies aren't fucking diplomatic.
Yeah, that use your word stuff can be overplayed. Absolutely, yeah. Kind of.
Yeah.
You can't necessarily reason with a bully.
Yeah, but like putting the fear, like I've put the fear of God in some people. You know what I mean? Like for real, and I hate that. I hate it when I get that mad that I even want to say those things.
Right.
And but yeah, it's really not. Can't do it today, especially like if you're a bigger person, because now there's you can literally get charged with assault by saying something. You can get in, at least in South Dakota, you can. I know that for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well,
If they
everything's
believe,
relative. Everything's
yeah,
relative.
if they believe that it's a threat, like if they believe in your threat, then you can totally get
Well, I mean,
charged.
you have to decide if and when it's appropriate, and
Right. Very true. Very
Yeah,
true.
and you
if you
can't be being recorded. Like if you're in a business meeting and somebody has really stepped on your toes, you have to be pretty sure you're not being recorded when you say, "I'll shoot you."
or
Yeah,
I'll break your back,
yeah, that's not gonna go
Hey,
over.
look, or cause, well,
Yeah.
it depends on what kind of meeting. It depends on who the members are,
Right.
and
Yeah.
and so
This
you
Zoom
pick and
call is
choose.
now evidence.
But when I was confronting these professionals, I mean, had a major business going, and I had a partnership with these people, which we had millions of dollars at stake, millions, and they were violating the agreements. So
Right.
what do you do? And they laugh at you when you
Yeah.
say, well, you're not supposed to do that.
Right. Yeah,
Right.
we don't, the rules are only rules if people live by them. And if nobody's going to enforce them, people are going to break the rules. That's human nature. Before we go any further, I just want to say the link, there's a shortcut link to Amazon there that's going across the bottom. It's in the description where people can get the book and order it today. So it's on all the places we're allowed to put links in, and it's going across the screen in case you need to just jot it down and go there. So I want to talk about your football career is over and now starting business. That a scary time? Like your football career is over. Did you know what you were going to do after football? Did you have that planned?
No, I really learned very early when I was with the Cowboys. I was going to going to night law school, and trying to play professional football. And I became a starter in my second year, and then I got into a pissing contest with my line coach. He and I did not get along. And even though I was a starter, I didn't like him. I nearly got into a fight with him in the game. And then I went to Landry after the season and told him I wanted to make a change and play defense after being a starter, which you don't do in the NFL.
Right.
And so he said I have to come in early. So I went in early, and then I injured myself. I pulled a hamstring, and then the trainer had a new theory that you stretch it out, and he tore the hamstring. So I couldn't do anything, and then they cut me. So because of that, when I came back in the game, I was a different animal. I knew that I had to protect myself, and that I knew that I couldn't rely upon the team to to take care of me. So I started working and developing a business on the side, and I accidentally got into the insurance business, not because I wanted to, because a friend of mine suggested it as a means, and the idea of selling life insurance didn't really appeal to me. I thought it was really sort of tough. How do you talk about death, and all that stuff. Well, I went to they give you a school and they teach you how to do it. And anyway, I became pretty good at it. But then when I got released by the Cowboys, it became a full-time job for me. And then I really dug in, and then I decided to stay in it. And by the time I got to the 12 years and 10 years with the Redskins, I was making 3 times as much money in my insurance business that I was in football.
Wow.
So it was a very easy transition for me to move straight out into my insurance business. Whereas most of the guys, 90% of them are really bankrupt.
Right.
And don't have a degree. That's what's so crazy about the NFL. Those statistics are still very valid.
That's part of what we were talking, because grammatical mistakes by an all-star quarterback the other day was part of Will's shtick. And I think, because in those days, athletes were scholar athletes. You had to go to school, but you weren't getting these free rides in school. At least I don't think as much as we see now. We're seeing kids who graduate major universities get into the NFL, and it's quite apparent that they didn't really learn anything in universities. They were just given a free pass and getting grades that to pass them and all that kind of stuff. But that's because you brought up you were making more than you were as a lineman in the NFL. salaries were different then too. I mean,
Oh yeah, a
so
lot lower.
so that's possible. Is that still possible? You think for somebody to make as much or more in selling insurance than in their NFL career today? No.
No, I think today, I
Yeah.
don't know if although, everything is relative. Uh, there was big money to be made in the insurance business.
Right.
And there's still big money to be made in the insurance business if you do the right thing. I mean, you got to find a niche that's very unique and special.
Yeah.
But today, the money in professional athletics is huge. And
Yeah.
and so when they sign these agreements, these bonuses for just to sign or they stay for a couple, 2 or 3 years, you can sock away a lot of money.
Sure.
$250,000,
don't.
$500,000.
Yeah.
But on relative terms, when I was playing, a $50,000 salary would be equal to $250,000 in that period of time.
Right.
So everything was sort of the same thing. It's a little more dramatic today because everything is so public. Back
Right.
when I played, it wasn't. But I knew I needed to, because I got cut early. And when I came back in the game, I got released by Dallas. I signed with Green Bay with Lombardi, which was crazy.
Wow.
And I demanded a no-cut contract, and they gave it to me. But then they traded me to the Browns. And then the Browns released me. And then I couldn't believe it. And then I got on the phone and I ended up with the Redskins and played 10 years with them. But the idea that you had some permanency and protection, it wasn't there. So $15,000 back then was like $150,000 today.
Right.
So
there was no players union that there was a players
Yeah.
union, but it wasn't as strong as it is today, where they have retirement and those kind of packages that would protect you for life, especially from head injuries and stuff like that. Things were very insecure.
Well, you had the only protection you had to file a lawsuit, or the team was generous, or you had a serious and major injury. But really, I mean, you were on your own. I mean, when I tore my hamstring with the Cowboys, I told Jack Schramm, who was the general manager, I said, I got an injury here. He said, so what? I said, you can't let me. He said, yes, we can.
I'm gonna ask a question that you might get offended by,
Please.
but I have to ask. My father was a bookmaker, a gambler, and we lived by the point spread and stuff. And my father was sure that there were times when point spreads came into factors of how players were playing on the field. Games were fixed according to point spreads. Can you address that for me and my brother?
I was not a gambler. I played 12 years. I never sensed that there was any reason to either not score or to score.
Right.
I think
the people who make the line are just that good that they can figure it out.
Well, they have to analyze. It's the same thing that every week we have to analyze the team that we're playing.
Right.
We do this thing. We have tons of information, movies, films that we watch. I mean, I was a student of the game because I had to play every position. I was a backup for every position on the line, so I had to study endlessly. So I knew so much about these teams because in the game, somebody with the right tackle, I'll be playing left guard, and suddenly the coach comes in, you got to go play right tackle. I said, what's wrong with the right tackle? I go down there and the guy's got his thumb all smashed up, and he can't talk. I said, what's wrong, George? He said, I said, well, that's nothing, man. The bone is sticking straight up. I mean, straight out of his thumb. He got two thumbs, you got a bone and he's got a thumb. I said, George, just tape it up.
Wow.
And he said, I said, George, do you take drugs?
Oh my God.
No, I don't take drugs.
Wow.
I said, well, shit. So then I had to go out there and take his place. But anyway, that's the era that I come from. So it was a different time.
Yeah. A total different time, and I get it. And things are and more NFL players are more A-list celebrities than they've ever been. I mean, in those days, they weren't like Hollywood celebrities. You wouldn't see necessarily all football players, dating the biggest pop singer and that kind of stuff. And
Well,
all.
you had a couple, maybe a few, but not many. You had Don Meredith, who was with the Cowboys.
All right,
He was
Dandy Don.
Dandy Don. He was a hot dog. He was a fun guy,
Right.
and he loved life. He was a sweetheart. But you had other guys. For the most part, it was a ball buster kind of operation.
Right. Let me ask you about, because being with the in the division you were in, Giants, Cowboys, Redskins, Eagles, rivalries, and guys who were your main nemesis. Did you have those steady, oh, I got to face so and so this weekend, and it's gonna be, a war between me and him? Did you have those kind of relationships?
I had that kind of relationship with Bob Lilly, who was this
Dallas
very
Cowboys.
famous, unbelievably great, talented defensive tackle for the Cowboys. I also had it with a couple of the other people on the line, Jethro Pugh and George Andre and Leroy Jordan, who was the middle linebacker, because I played for them. I played with them, and then I played against them for 10 years.
Wow.
So we went at it really big time. And Lilly he never said anything. He was just like a big cat. He was strong as hell, and he could grab you so quick and throw you. But I studied him so hard, and so I would back off because he would line up as close as he could, and within a second, when you moved, he could grab you. And once he grabbed you, he would throw you as quick as he could. He was so strong in his upper body. So I pulled back a yard from line so he couldn't grab me as quick. And then just as he lunged out to grab me, that's when you had to hit him.
Yeah.
And if you timed it right, you could hit him and take him right down the line. Or where I was playing left guard, I'd take him to the right, and my center was laying there, Len Haas. He would be very low, and just as Lilly grabbed me and tried to go to the inside, Len would come in and hit him right in the knee, and he'd go straight up in the air. I mean, his back legs would go straight up, and then he'd come down on his head. And you would think that would stop him. But he would do that 60 times a game. I mean, he would come flying. I mean, it was crazy. But, I mean, those are the kind of things you have to try to figure out. The other kind of guys, like Jim Kanicki, was this big-ass defensive tackle for the Cleveland Browns. You'd line up on him, and his first play was a slam of forearm right into your face. Just boom! And you go rocking back, and he'd look at you and he'd call you, you motherfucker, I'm going to kill you. I said, don't ever do that again, buddy. And then the next play, of course, boom! And I go rocking back again. And as I go back, and I tell you, I grab his face mask, and I tell you the story before, boom, I start really tearing his face up. I said, Jim, you want to keep doing this? Now they throw flags and the refs are screaming and everybody's saying, God, stop that shit, blah, blah, offsetting. And I said, we'll do it every play if you want to, buddy. And suddenly he gets message. But you gotta deal. There's just a lot of guys. I tell you, the guy that was really crazy was Lyle Alzado. I don't know if you know that name.
Yeah.
He was with Denver, and so he tells Monday night guys back then, it was Cosell and Meredith and Griffin, Frank, how he's going to tear me up. And somebody tells me about it. He says, Lyle Alzado's going to rip you a new one, man. You better get your ass ready for Monday night. So we get out there. Anyway, he's not in there. He hadn't gotten in there one time. And so I'm standing there, and we're like in the third or fourth quarter, and we're ahead. And I'm looking at him like, you dumb shit, And he just hauls off and slugs me. Just damn, hits me in the face. So anyway, I leap at him, and grab him. And I started doing my thing, just banging him in the face. And we're just going crazy. And so they break us up, offsetting penalties, blah, blah, blah. And then he starts yelling to everybody on his side, get shonky. okay, he's telling the guy down the
Sends the
road,
whole
get
team
Chunky,
after
get
you.
Chunky. So what's his number?
Wow.
62, get 62. And then my teammates say, yeah, 62, that's him. He's down there. Go get him.
Oh my God! Then you three
You know,
into the wolves.
Luckily, we were winning the game. And then when they said that.
Alzado was one of those first guys who kind of he had a wrestling mentality, and he kind of went into the movies as a bad guy, that kind of image for a while. So, he died of liver disease. I think liver disease.
He had a tragic period. Yeah, he was
one of the first guys using steroids, right?
Yeah, he really I forgot what drug he was taking, but it really put him away.
Yeah, that was the era when that was really just first starting out, the performance enhancing chemicals and stuff.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
But anyway, we became friends actually afterwards. But during that game, it was a ball buster.
Wow. And we're running short on time here. I want to know how you transitioned from football to business to political activism. How did that happen?
Well, political activism actually started when I was playing football. I mean, I'm part Hawaiian, and so I'm always been more on the liberal side, Democratic. I got involved in campaigns. I got involved in inner city programs. Racism became an issue because I'm brown, Hawaiian, but I'm not white. And the guys used to say, Shunky, you're not white. So
wow.
The black guys would say, no, remember, you're not white. You're brown, but you can hang around. But anyways, so I became very sensitive to those issues. And so I became an activist when I was playing. I got involved in campaigns. I worked very hard for George McGovern because I was against the war in Vietnam. I wasn't against wars. I was against that war. And so I worked very heavily, and to the chagrin of my head coach, George Allen, who was very close to Nixon at the time. He couldn't believe that I would be campaigning against his friend, Richard Nixon. Right. So when Nixon came out to have his picture taken with the team and all the guys were excited and everybody's cheering, suddenly I disappear.
Wow.
And I refused to have my picture taken with him. And goddamn, boy, I mean, I got holy hell for that one.
I can imagine. Yeah. Was he already president running for a second term?
Yeah, he was president. Right? He was the president. The big deal was the president's coming out to work out, to come and visit the team. And everybody was excited except me.
Wow.
And suddenly when he comes up and they said, okay, everybody get together. We're going to have a picture with him. And so everybody, all the guys run up there, they're all sitting. And I just slowly slink off and I go to the locker room.
Wow.
And then they found out about it. Like, where's Shunky? And then my line coach said, how dare you disrespect our commander in chief? And I said, I thought that was my right. He said, no, it isn't.
Amen.
Yeah.
No,
Amen
it isn't.
Answer,
and then my head coach, George Allen, called me in his office and said, how dare you?
Wow.
Dare you do that? That's my friend. I said, I apologize to you, but I did not mean it to be disrespectful to you, but I do not like what he stands for. And I feel I have that right. And I turned and walked out. And I thought I was done. I figured they're going to get rid of me.
Yeah, I would have got cut. I would have got cut because I would have said he's not my friend.
Yeah.
He's your friend.
Well, so I walked out. So, and I thought I was just a matter of time. I told my family to get ready. They're going to cut me. My name's going to be in the paper. And I told the kids, kids are going to start making fun of you. Daddy's going to be pictured on the front page of the sports section. Shonky cut, but they didn't.
I'm glad that didn't happen.
Then we were in the playoffs, and I had 2 great games in the playoffs. And the next year, when I came time for my contract, I went into them and said, I ain't playing unless you give me a guaranteed contract. And I told that to Coach Allen. I said, I'm not going to play. You know, you saw what kind of guy I am. You know what kind of person I am. And if you want me to play for you, I want a guaranteed contract.
Wow.
Otherwise, it's over. The day before camp started, I get a call from his secretary. She said, can I read you a little letter here? Read your contract? It says, I, George Allen, head coach, general manager of the Washington Redskins, guarantee to you your contract for the coming season.
Wow.
I'm on my way. And he gave it to me for the next 3 years. Every year I planned. So he stood up for me. And once he realized that I could stand up for him, and I played for him, I did anything he wanted. I played a lot of positions. I tried to become a leader for the motivation for the team. And then he called me aside one time. He said, guess what? He said, I'm going out to have dinner with George McGovern. I said, you got to be kidding me.
Wow.
He said, you're actually going to give him season tickets.
Did he do a complete flip-flop
Yeah,
politically?
he did a complete flip-flop, you know?
Right.
And I said, hey, well, power to you, coach. Go for it.
Right.
Well,
So it's the time when I thought I was done.
right.
It was all over. My career's gone. I tell my kids, and I tell my wife, I said, I'm going to go back to selling insurance.
That is a microcosm of the story here. Is standing up for yourself has definitely proved to be a recurring lesson for you, and it works out for the best. So,
Can
good
I
for you.
ask one question?
Sure.
I'm very curious about this.
If you permit him, I'll let the man say whether you can ask a
With
question.
your connection to George McGovern, how much time have you spent in South Dakota?
I only spent time in South Dakota when I went out there to go hunting. I love to hunt.
Oh, really?
Yes,
Yeah.
I went hunting pheasants out there and grouse.
I think this is where Cheney shot that guy. Actually, it's a good hunting destination.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
Oh, that's where Cheney shot his friend in the face there?
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure I have it here in
he
South
didn't. I
Dakota,
forgot how there was an accident for some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Okay.
no, I was a hunter. I as a Hawaiian kid growing up in Texas, there weren't any Hawaiians in Texas. There were a bunch of Indians, so I became an Indian.
Sure.
So
yeah.
I started
Get in where you fit in,
replicating
yeah.
what Indians did. So I got into hunting and tracking and laying out in the woods, all that stuff. And I really embraced it. And I read all the books about Indians because I thought I was an Indian until I got to Hawaii. When I got to Hawaii, I became Hawaiian. It's a lot better being a Hawaiian than an Indian. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah.
On the beach and surfing is a lot better than freezing your ass off in the winter.
Right. You mentioned George Allen, and you know what? Not many. I don't even think that this happens at all anymore. General manager and head coach, right? I don't know if any. I think Parcells tried to do that, and they wouldn't let him or something with New England, or maybe it was the Jets. With the Jets.
Well, the Bears did it for a long time.
Yeah, but what occurred to me, because you mentioned Lombardi, George Allen, Landry, these are some really powerful mentors, and so the coaches that you played on. Did you play under Gibbs, Joe Gibbs?
I didn't play on the Gibbs. I knew Gibbs. I didn't know him well, but I knew him.
The importance of those kind of people in your life, did they have a significant impact on your life?
Tremendous impact. It just both good and bad. Landry, I felt was brilliant, but he was cold, very impersonal, and so therefore you were a commodity. He never really built a very close relationship.
Right.
Lombardi built close relationships, but he was a tyrant. I mean, he was so
tough,
bipolar. I mean, he would just be like when if you did anything wrong, it would be like, Shonky, God damn you, what the and he'd be just screaming at you. Shonky, that is a goddamn bad block. The worst I've ever seen. It goes on and on. But then he'd turn around and say, Chunky, that's a great block. Greatest block I've ever seen. So you had this constant going back and forth. But he was such a motivator and such he was unbelievable. And he had winning teams. And And then George Allen was totally different. He was just meticulous and spent hours and hours, and he good at selecting his players. So you had all these great coaches, all very different, but all very successful.
Yeah. You know, somebody should write a book on the great coaches and their personalities and all that stuff. Lombardi was, I think, ruled by emotion. He reminded me a lot of my father, because my father was like that too. He was the kind of guy who would say the meanest, most horrible things, and then the most complimentary and positive things to you, all in the same day, or it's sometimes within just in two breaths. You know, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, when Lombardi would walk up and start rubbing my shoulder, say, "Ray, I'm so proud of you," you know.
Right.
And I didn't know whether to let him keep doing it or say, "Get your goddamn hands off me," you know. But he was such a contrast, you know. But I adored playing for him, and I became his best lineman, you know.
Wow. Well, it's been a pleasure to meet you and learn from you here today. The name of the book is Fat Girl Sings. It's available on Amazon right now. There's a link in the description there. It's a really, it sounds like an important read, especially, you know, for anybody who's got kids who are being bullied, or if you are a youngster in old enough to read a book like this, junior high school or high school level, and dealing with something like that. Important lessons for people. So I appreciate you coming on. I wish you great success with the book.
I appreciate it very much, and I thank you.
Thank you for being here, and have a great day. And if you are so inclined, please come back sometime. I love
to.
You. All right.
Invite me back. I'll come back.
Great. Cool. Have a good day. Bye for now.
Same to you. Bye-bye.
Ray Shunky, folks. Hey, you're on the wrong side. Get on the right side. There you go.
I don't. I don't control this. I don't know why you yell at me.
Well, you could do that. You could actually swipe.
I don't.
Yes.
You're.
Try to swipe me over. Try to swipe me over. Go ahead. Swipe me over.
Like just touch the screen.
Yeah, and grab it over.
Oh my God, that does work.
Yeah.
Whoa,
see that?
What?
Now fix it. Fix it.
Now
Put me back where I belong. I'll do it. Oh, there you go.
I did it. I did it already.
So that's wow. You know what's going to be a great clip?
Amazing.
Yeah. The best part of that is when he robust laughed in my face when I asked about salaries and how things have changed. Right? George, could you make that much? And he laughed like, look at that idiot. You believe this question this idiot just asked? It was funny.
Yeah. That was so much fun. I'm sure the listeners enjoyed and the viewers.
Yeah. You know, cool insight there. Again, you know, I this whole week has been a very weird week for me, but this idea of that I don't believe in coincidence anymore. I mean, I've seen some, but the lessons here, and you know, because a lot of this week has been talking about bullying and that kind of stuff, and how you deal with it. So, you know,
I really want to send him Pain. Because Pain is an anti-bullying song. Because bullying is a big deal because it sticks with you for a long time, like
your whole life.
Yeah, forever. You know, I had to come to a place where I realized I'm never going to stop hearing that stuff, but I just gotta not. You know what I mean? It's not. I have to know that it doesn't have value. You know what I mean?
Now, when Gibbs came to talk to you, was any of that about bullying, or when Joe Gibbs?
I don't. It wasn't okay. So because I thought about it a little bit more. The book that he gave everybody was called A Game Plan for Life. And it was, it was very Christ centered, if I remember correctly. Because it was a church event that they put on. And so I think it was just more so of, if you live your life in a good Christian manner.
I didn't realize he was evangelical.
Yeah, it was more. Yeah, it was definitely more Christian based than anything, for sure.
Wow. Interesting stuff there. We're going to take a short break, and then when we come back, are we doing news or?
I don't have it.
You didn't do your homework. You showed up late and you didn't do. That's fine. You actually did do your. You did do. I know You did do your homework. I told you that audio piece didn't need to be done overnight. You sent me one this morning, and I
I like to
appreciate
be
it.
quick. I like to be quick. But if it's not good enough and you want me to do it again, you want me to do it better,
I'm
I'll do it
sure.
again.
I'm sure it'll be fine. We got to
It
find
is
out.
like right at a minute because like I think the file is a minute and a second, but I think there's a second you can cut in the beginning before I start talking.
Yeah, we
So
have
it's
new
right at a
sponsors
minute.
for people who are in the audience. We have new sponsors coming on. One of them is Creative Live, and it is for anybody who wants to learn anything or improve their skills in creativity, from photography to music production to graphic arts, any of those, for applicable business school skills for creative people. It's going to be, I think, a really invaluable resource, and I hope people will patronize them. And you know what, not just necessary for business, for spiritual and whatever fulfills you in the creative arts. I mean, we could all use to learn from some of that. So
Right.
let's take a quick break and we'll be right back. You know what, every day I screw this up with here it is. Green Space. Today we are sponsored by Green Space LI at greenspace.li.com. Go there. The leader in CBD health and wellness. Seeing on Coffee with the Dog. That's us. That right now, if you go there, you tell them Mind Dog sent you, and they have special discounts for you on that greenspace.li.com. And we will be, as I'm saying, damn, we got to learn to push these right buttons here. We're going to take a very quick break, and we'll be right back. Oh, that's the wrong one. There you go.
It's cool.
Hey, yeah, Mind Dog, yeah, Mind Dog. If you ready for some action, this dog sure to keep you laughing. Let's go. Mind Dog, yeah, Mind Dog. Don't roll, don't play fetch, only here to keep your interest. This is the show that you've been missing, full of comedians and musicians, plenty of interviews, entertaining. Keep it funny, there ain't no debating. Call the man, you never know what they gon' say. Bean Flicker Kelly and Whiskey Dick Willie Conway. So authentic and straight raw, pushing the limits when they talk, doing it live when they stream. Mind Dog TV, yeah, so crazy, getting intense. The dogs are wild, better beware before you hop over the fence. Mind Dog, yeah, Mind Dog. If you ready for some action, this dog sure to keep you laughing. Let's go. Mind Dog, hey, Mind Dog. Don't roll, don't play fetch, only here to keep your interest. Let's go. Come have coffee with the dog.
Oh yeah. So by the way, that's you, Whiskey Dick Willie Conway. They say your name, you're muted again. Somehow the videos, I guess because you're on the phone there. Yeah, no, you remuted yourself. It's just one touch, nice and easy. There you go.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I try and let it do it. It doesn't unmute me, I guess.
I
It
know.
mutes me. Yeah.
It's weird because it doesn't do that on computers. At least I don't think it does. It doesn't to people who are in the room. Or as soon as the video stops, you're unmuted. It mutes you automatically while the video's playing. Cool stuff there with Ray, and the book. Book's available now. I'm going to get the book. I got a lot of books to catch up on now. Too many authors in the last 2 weeks that I've promised to read the books from, and now I got to read like 7 books on my list. And this happens to me. I have a stack there of from interviews I've done where people have sent me their books that I still haven't gotten around to them from like a year ago.
So why don't you because you drive to like your gigs and stuff, right?
Yeah, audiobooks don't do it for me, man. I can listen to an audiobook, but it's not the same. I don't get the same experience out of it.
You're right. It's not the same. It is different for sure.
Yeah, I don't mind.
I prefer them. That I like them a lot more actually.
Yeah, well, I don't like them a lot more. I do both. I mean, I will read a book first and then listen to the audiobook. I didn't ask Ray if he's done an audiobook for Fat Girl Sings. Anyway, I started the program talking about Dianne Feinstein. This is not political, but Senator Dianne Feinstein passed away last night at the age of 90. Now, she had been suffering from severe cognitive decline for a long time, and
Right.
she thought she was working for 2 months while she was out sick, and she swore she was working every day. Should have given it up a little bit early. It's a tough thing for me, particularly it's on my mind today because I'm going to perform for a lot of people who are in the same boat, but they are institutionalized. It's like,
Right.
when do you step down? Because it's such a hard decision to make, right? To say,
Yeah.
I'm done. I'm just going to go,
Yeah.
what do you do?
Well,
Play shuffleboard?
right. Even so, the boss we had when we were the groundskeepers at the rodeo grounds in New Mexico. I mean, that woman was in her 90s. She's 94 out there trying to clean stalls and stuff, and you can't. And she's the type of little old lady that you can't even tell her to stop because she
Well,
won't.
I
You know what I
think
mean?
that physical life will definitely keep you sharper as long as you're doing something. The senators and congressmen, they
Yeah,
have
they're
a
not
very
real active.
they have a
Yeah,
very sedentary life for the most part. It's like
true,
sitting
true.
sitting there and arguing and all that kind of stuff. Funny, it was
Oh, believe
talking.
me, she's slipping those too. I mean, don't think she's all wit. I
Oh,
mean,
no, no, no.
she did say that she got 69 at from the Napa store, and I was like, "This, what do you?" Because I went out one morning, because she pulls up, and so I go to check in. Hey, how's it going? Well, I went and did it now. I got 69 at the Napa store, and I was like, "Say what, Miss Jamie?" You know? And she goes, "Yeah, I went in there yesterday and I was trying to return this battery and they wouldn't do it. And I started raising a fuss and they 69 me." And I
What did
said,
she
"Oh my
mean by that?
God."
Did you ever get to the bottom of what she actually meant by 69?
Yeah, what she meant is she got 86 and she just didn't know any better.
You
It
gotta
was,
get your numbers right.
uh,
Oh my god! See, now that I don't mean to be one of these people, but you need to work that into the comedy.
I do.
Oh,
I've done it. I've done it on stage, of course.
okay.
I am a professional.
Uh, well, that's where I was going with this. What do you got coming? You got stuff this weekend. You want to promote this?
Tonight's the big show. We got the big show at the Icon, and it's a late show, which is nice. A downtown late show. The doors are at 9. The show's at 9:30. I'm hosting it. Preston Williams, who has been on the show a couple of different times, I think. Preston is featuring, and we have Alex Hooper from America's Got Talent, who is he just landed about 20 minutes ago in Sioux Falls.
It sounds like you're saying Alex Cooper. Alice
Alex
Cooper.
Hooper with an A.
Hooper.
Huh.
Alex Hooper.
Hooper. Yeah.
Okay.
Who?
Because it sounded like you were saying Alice Cooper. I was like, he's been around a lot
You know,
longer than
I guess, yeah, I will. I guess I have to enunciate a little better because you are not the first person to say that to me.
I'm deaf. First of all, you have to understand how deaf I am. I really am deaf. I mean, not just hard of hearing, totally stone cold deaf. I can have, and I told the story back 30 years ago. I was laying on bed with the old-fashioned rotary phones sitting on my chest, and my girlfriend said, "Are you going to answer that?" I was like,
And you didn't know it was ringing?
"No,
Oh man.
no."
Should feel. How did you not feel the vibration?
I don't know.
mean, really.
I live for this, so these headphones are turned up so loud. That's how I get most of my
Me
information
too.
is through vibrations.
Me
You
too.
know,
We
the
should do an
bass.
episode where we compare audiograms.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure if I went to an audiologist, it would flatline. It's like, oh, you're dead. You died
No,
40.
no, I mean, bro, like I've seen, dude. The last one I had was not good, and my hearing has definitely gotten worse since. And you can ask my wife.
Yeah, the last one I had, they do that thing where raise your hand when you hear the tone, and I'm just sitting there. And she's looking at me. Like,
right, yeah.
You don't hear that at all? I thought, when do we start? When do we? It started. It started 10 minutes ago.
We did the whole test already. Are you kidding me? Like,
yeah.
Matter of fact, so this whole enunciating thing and people thinking I'm saying Alice Cooper, I shit you not. The other day, I was telling somebody about the show, and I said the headliner is going to be Alex Hooper, and they thought I said Alice Cooper, and they immediately like their face lit up, and they're like, "Oh my god, dude, for real!" And they hugged me, like they hugged me like real tight, and they're like, "That's fucking amazing! I can't believe you're opening for Alice Cooper." And I was like, no, no, okay. Man, that felt really good and not so good very quickly. So hang on. No, it's not. It's not Alice Cooper. I enjoy your enthusiasm. Uh,
I
but
have
no,
I have some 6 degrees of separation there with Alice Cooper, friends of who are friends with him, but that his guitar player Ryan, I can't think of Ryan's last name now, but I call him Ricky Roachcliffe. He's badmouthed me a couple of times on his podcast for some reason he's got a hard on for me, and I don't know why. He brought me up. He had Stanhope on, and he brought me up a couple of times in that conversation. Like Stanhope wasn't there he was there to talk about Doug Stanhope, and this guy's
right.
bringing up Matt Napo to him, and like you could see that Stanhope
Was he
was
talking
looking at
about
him.
your obsession with Doug Stanhope?
No, he was talking. Well, he first brought it up as they were talking about continuity and like why Stanhope drinks out of a solid cup like that, because in a glass, you could, if they have to edit, you could see the difference in what you drank if you're in a clear glass. But if you have a cup like
Right.
this, you can edit, and nobody knows that the difference. And the guy said,
See, that's
notice that
smart.
Matt
That's so
Napo,
smart.
he's really obsessive about that, Matt Napo. And like, what are you bringing me up for in that conversation? And then a couple of, he just kept bringing me up. Like, what? Why? Why?
That is interesting. That is very interesting.
Yeah. But Alice
How long
Cooper,
ago was that?
probably a year and a half ago, 2 years, something like that.
Huh.
Uh, and I wrote to him. I said, why do you feel compelled to discuss me with Doug Stanhope? Like, there's no, and I never heard back from him on that, but the episode's still up there if anybody wants to check it out. I'm not saying you should, because he
Right.
probably said some negative shit about me. I don't remember exactly what it was. Alice
Oh,
Cooper, Joe, used to hang out at my friend's place back in the drug days, and there was a lot of
sure, sure.
that stuff going on, and everybody knew him, and there was like, and I always used to, I was people say, why are you so negative about him? I said, I don't know what his big hits were. School's Out Forever. What else? No More Mr. Nice Guy.
Bed of
I mean,
Nails. I'll jam out to that fucking so
but
many
that was
times. Dude.
almost 50 years ago, right? I mean,
I
that
don't
was,
care. It's fucking awesome.
I know, but now he's still playing. I mean, I get it. It was awesome then, but would you go see him? I mean, in a stadium now by, like, it's not like the rock
I'm going to
star.
tell you something. I'm going to tell you something. If I had a chance at Alice Cooper tickets and I did not take my wife, she would murder me. I'm going to tell you that for a straight fact. That would happen for real. If my wife knew that I could get Alice Cooper tickets and didn't like she yeah, no, I'd find me in the desert somewhere, or no, you'd probably find my teeth or something somewhere around some pigs. Is actually, I'm pretty sure
Wow.
if I ever get murdered by her, that's what's going to happen. I'm going to get eaten by pigs.
You think pigs would
But
eat
I
you?
wouldn't do something that dumb. You know what I mean? Like
You
I know
think
her so well.
you think pigs would eat you?
If Danica wanted me to die, yeah. You know, she told me how many times that she grew up on a farm in Nebraska. And, I mean, she
Pigs
loves
are
me. Though. I know she
pigs are
loves me.
omnivores, and they will eat anything. But I don't think they'd eat you. They'd take because they
I
know
think
you.
I just think she's seen Hannibal too many times. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I mean, she really likes thrillers.
You a fan of Bo Burnham?
Bo Burnham.
You don't know Bo?
Oh, whoa! Is that the original Jason?
No, Bo Burnham is a kid, a comedian. He's not a kid anymore. He was very successful at like 20 and hanging with like major comedians. He's a songwriter, singer, comedian, and he does like really funny songs and stuff. But he also does
Can you
stand
pull
up.
up a picture? Because I'm way better with faces.
I don't think I can right now. I'll send you some
So,
stuff with him. But anyway, the reason I brought him up is yesterday or the day before he was doing a song from the perspective of God. And the song is what he said. Basically, the chorus is, "You're not going to heaven. Why do you think? What makes you think I'd want to kick it with you?" But
oh my god! Oh
and,
my god! Dude,
he,
that's a great perspective.
right, and he's talking about perspectives from God. He said, "Don't not rape because I tell you it's because it's I tell you I wrote down that it's wrong because he didn't write." In the commandments, it doesn't say thou shalt not rape. He goes, I guess I forgot to write that one down. But don't rape because it's not a cool thing to do. Just don't be a dick. It's that simple. But then he goes, don't not eat pork because I tell you it not to. He said, I fucking created the universe. You think I draw a line in the fucking deli aisle?
Right.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to eat pork, eat pork. There's no fucking.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's
So
awesome.
I
And,
mean,
I just want to say here that do you see this? That my wife co-signed everything I just said.
yeah. Wow.
That's fucking great.
I'm glad my wife doesn't listen to this show. I just want to put that on the record. My wife learned like 5 years ago not to listen to me on because she's like she listened to like 2 shows and she's like
I mean,
that's not good for our
that
relationship.
okay, so it's interesting that you bring that up because I've kind of given her shit about not being into the stuff that I do, like she's not paying it because and not that she doesn't pay attention or like she knows what I'm up to and what I'm doing and stuff, but like she this is like maybe a handful of times that she's seen it, but she also wasn't always available either.
Right. My wife hasn't come to one of my shows in 13, 14 years, something like that. She
Oh,
came
I
to
love
like
it when she comes to my shows.
you do?
I
Hey,
do.
I feel like it cramps my style. Not that I'm not a cheater or a flirter or any of that kind of stuff. I just feel like if she's there, I'm going to be concentrating on her and making sure she's having a good time and all that stuff. And if she's not smiling, I'm going to get like all nervous, like she's not having a good time and be thinking too much about her when my job is not, my job here
Right.
is to make sure she's happy, not when I'm on
So
stage.
right. I guess so for me what it is, and I've told her this, that the way she looks at me when I'm on stage, like nobody else looks at me like that. And
Uh,
it fills me with a confidence that like I have phenomenally better shows when my wife is around.
you got to
And I
put that
know
in a
that.
song, dude. You got to write that down, what you just said, and put it in a song. That's a hit. It's a country song. The way you look at me,
Yeah.
that kind of shit.
I mean
You
it
just,
and I mean it does. And I mean it affects me. I don't think I do as well when she's not around. I just don't. And even
I have the opposite effect. I don't think I do as well when my wife is there, and not again. It's in me because I'm too concerned about if she stops smiling for a second, I must be doing something wrong.
yeah, well,
Yeah.
I guess I mean she doesn't. She never stops smiling though. Like when I'm up there, bro. Like I'm sure her face hurts by the time I'm done because I
Well,
don't know what it is. Like when I get in that spotlight and she looks at me like that, it just I don't know. It's different.
you're making me wet. You're making me wet. I got to tell you, I'm finding you highly attractive now. With this romantic soft side of Willie.
Right.
Anyway,
Yeah, I'm
uh,
not always an asshole.
and I didn't say that. Let's not get carried away here. Uh, Next week, I got a jam-packed week again. I got to talk to you about Wednesday of next week.
Okay.
Tommy Chong is supposed to be on Friday. Cheech is not doing it next Friday.
Okay.
Uh, but Wednesday we need to do something offline in the afternoon, taping something for the
Oh.
Tommy Chong thing on Friday.
Oh, okay.
If you're available, I just want to.
I will be because I'll be
You-
back in New Mexico by then. I fly back Tuesday morning.
All right.
So.
Have you you've never met Tommy, right? You've never been on a program with him, have
I
you?
don't believe that we've been on at the same time, no. So,
Wow. Yeah. So I mean, if you want to do that Wednesday, we can. You definitely that would be definitely cool to have you on with that. I'm kind of disappointed that Cheech isn't going to be on next week, and but it's not going to be as crazy as this week. So that's it. That's this week for you. What do you think? Was this this was a crazy week, especially.
yeah, it
I
was
mean,
fun though. I
I'm
had
sure it was
fun.
fun for you. I
Oh man.
I sent Carl a picture of the advertisement that I see on Facebook for magic mushrooms.
Oh right.
You don't see that stuff? I want to.
No, I guess they feel like I already know.
You
No,
know.
but I
But they're
have a.
selling it online and advertising it like it's legal everywhere. It's not legal everywhere, right?
I mean, I'll be honest. I don't know what I didn't stop to look up the legalities of where it's legal, but I'm pretty sure it's legal here, and I'm pretty sure it's legal in New Mexico because I mean, yeah, I mean, it's everywhere. It's all over.
I
Like,
don't think it's legal in New York. I would have heard about it. Somebody would have said something. I'm not like I'm a mushroom head.
speaking of Carl, though,
A
Carl said
mushroom
something
head.
about T-shirts, and I didn't even think about this, like, but and I don't know. I've been saying it for years. Matter of fact, I started saying this when I went to treatment in 2001 because when you went around the group, you had to like identify yourself and say what your drug of choice was, and which I had never been asked that question at that point yet. And so I said my drug of choice is more, and they said, more? What do you mean? Like morphine? I said, no, like more. Like whatever you got, give me more of it. That's my drug of choice. And
Uh,
so Carl said he wants to put my drug of choice is more on some t-shirts. We should totally make, yeah,
oh,
like,
I could do that and put it in the store. We'll do that. We'll definitely kind of capitalize on that. We'll put we need to get a cartoon image of you. I'll work on that this weekend.
right.
This picture from yesterday at lunch. Is it there? Where is it? You see that picture? That is somebody else who's taking that picture. I'm over on the right there in the diner by myself eating a hamburger, a
It's still
cheeseburger.
loading for me.
And,
Oh,
and
okay. Yeah, okay.
oh, it hasn't loaded?
I apologize to everyone that's going to have to see my face real close here.
Oh,
Who are we looking at here?
we're looking at 6 police officers staring at me while I eat lunch.
Why? Why, bro?
That was the question. Like, I mean, why am I that interesting? And they look like they're looking at me like we should arrest that guy.
Yeah, like, hey, isn't this the no-gooder we're looking for? like that's exactly what it feels like there.
I have no warrants. Nobody, what the hell? Why am I that interesting to? And they're staring at me like I'm lunch to them. Like it's. And I didn't know. I didn't notice it because I was eating. I wasn't paying. But then somebody sent me that picture. They said they're looking at you, dude.
What the fuck, dude? Maybe we're really popular with the New York Police Department. Maybe we have a lot of listeners and they're fans, and they just didn't know how they didn't know how to approach the dog.
They were nervous about coming over and asking for an autograph. That's it. That you're
Yeah,
definitely right.
yeah, exactly. The
I
NYPD.
think they were like, do we have probable cause? Can we?
Right. Yeah. Like.
Yeah, I know I look like a criminal, but I'm not a criminal. I don't break the law generally.
Dude, I look like a drug dealer all the time because I thought about it the other day because the
Not
way I
yesterday.
dress.
Yesterday you look like Where's Willie?
Yeah, no, because I was wearing that collared shirt, which is
Yeah,
a rarity anymore.
right.
I have a number of those. I have so many like polo, like collared shirts and stuff like that. I'm a t-shirt guy. I'm comfortable in t-shirts.
Wow.
But
Let me go
go ahead.
ahead. Keep talking. Keep talking.
Oh well, I forgot what I was even saying.
You talking about
Yeah, I
looking like a
realized
drug
that
dealer.
because I wear a lot of hoodies. I wear a hat backwards or like a beanie most of the time, and I wear and I because I'm always traveling and I'm always bouncing around places. I usually have a backpack, you know, and I'm just like, God, dude, am I ever gonna stop looking like a drug dealer? I'm fucking 42. I gotta quit this shit, you know, like.
Yeah. Bo Burnham. That's Bo Burnham.
Oh,
Y-
great. Here we
Yeah. Yeah.
go. Whoa.
American comedian and musician.
Okay, I've definitely seen him. Yeah,
Check him out. I mean, he's really funny, really funny. He's on. I first found out about him 10 years ago. He was on Prevender's Green Room, and Gary Shandling was on. This is how long ago, because Gary Shandling's been dead for a while. But Gary Shandling was just dumping all praise on this kid, like he was like the next coming of the greatest comedian ever.
right.
And that's when I got interested in him. And because he's in a room with guys who are in their 40s and 50s who have established careers, and here's a 20-year-old, and he's like, I don't talk about myself on stage because nobody wants to hear the opinions of a 20-year-old kid. I'm not full of myself, and so that humility made me think, well, this kid, he's got it going on. Well, I want to take him out of here. How do I take him out? Stop sharing. That's what I want to do. Anyway, check out Bo Burnham. Great stuff, and that song from the perspective of God. He's got a lot of really cool, interesting lyrical,
Yeah.
great songs. So and funny
I
songs.
mean, okay, so I've thought about doing more music stuff for my comedy, but here's my concern with that. If I do that, people aren't going to take my serious music seriously. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I'm especially because like I did parody of Louis Capaldi's "Someone You Love." Did you know that? Have you listened to that?
No.
Okay, so yeah, I have one parody song that and I haven't, I didn't do it like it's not like I put anything out. Like I told people about what song I was singing, but I didn't even do it over music. But I have done it over music a couple times on stage. But I worry about if I start doing parodies and stuff like that, will people give credence to like the real music that I also want
Yeah,
to put out?
yeah. I can tell you that
It's
it's
like,
a
yeah,
it's a death trap. Once you do
right,
one, silly parody song, that's what you're going to be pigeonholed as. So,
right, and I
um,
definitely don't want that. That's the one thing I don't want more than anything else. The whole
he,
reason I
he
put
doesn't
out,
do he doesn't do parody songs though. He does really intelligent. Ian saying, "Tell Willie to listen to this Bo song
right,
about the internet." His lyrics are really not parody songs. Not at all parody songs. They
right.
are
No, I get
songs.
what you're saying.
Yeah, that make you think.
There's another guy named Jeffrey Eggleston, and he's got a song called "Jesus Was a Lady." That like I didn't want to like I was like, okay, like no matter what your viewpoints are, there's some things you just shouldn't do. Was my feeling when he got started with this song. I immediately felt like, okay, bro, there's just some things that maybe, but like as the song progressed, it fucking won me over, and it's just a ridiculous song, much like what I feel like you're talking about for Bo
Just
Burnham,
a, just a
Jeffrey
ridiculous song.
Eggleston,
You
Jeffrey,
know
and
what?
it's Jeffrey with a G.
I forgot we have a piece to play today. I forgot. I apologize to GD about this. GD sent me a critical joke theory today.
Oh,
I don't know where the hell is it. I
how long
downloaded
is
it.
it? Because we're Gubs is about up in 2 minutes.
You know what? We'll probably I'll play it on Monday. I'll
Okay.
be more prepared on Monday. I apologize for that. A lot
He
going
asked a
on here
great
today.
question in the chat today. That really got Ray going on some great stories.
You know what? What's funny is we just got a comment on the Rumble in the Rumble chat room, this is the comment: 0 comments.
What?
Like 0 comments. Like because on Rumble people don't comment a lot. Even though we get. And I think Rumble inflates views, or they count views differently. If somebody just scrolls past something and just sees it for a second, I think they count that as a view. So we'll see like views in several hundreds and no comments on it. And this guy but he puts a comment in there, 0 comments. So now that's the first comment is 0 comments. Go over to the YouTube if you're still there. Pick Kickboxer. PF Kickboxer. If you're still over there, try us on YouTube if you want to see comments and stuff. There are people over there. On Facebook, there's a bunch. On LinkedIn, there's a bunch. So we got some comments going on. It's just not over on.
Do we see all of them? Because I think I only see like the YouTube ones.
I see. No, I see Facebook. I see LinkedIn.
Yeah, everything I have has a YouTube symbol next to it. Those are the only ones I see.
It's weird. Maybe it's a phone thing. Maybe it's the
I'm
co-host
sure
status.
I should be getting the laptop. I'm hoping so. I'm trying to. Preston actually said he might have an extra one because they upgraded recently, so he's going to talk to his wife.
Wow. Well, that would be cool. I gave one to Carl. Maybe I should have gave that to you, but you were in the freezer. You were in the freezer at the time.
I was in the freezer, and Carl did ask probably about 1,000 times. So I mean, it's okay.
Yeah, and I don't think he's even using it. I think he is like decided that it's not for him or whatever. So
get out of here. That's funny.
Well, I can't get it back now. It's all the way across the pond. Anyway.
No, I get that. Yeah, and please don't ship it. God, I can only imagine how much that would cost.
I do have extra computers, but I ain't shipping them to New Mexico. It probably cost me more than buying a new computer to ship these fucking. I have Mac towers and stuff like that. Like,
right.
That shit ain't gonna work. Anyway, we'll figure something out eventually. But for now, you're relegated to the phone. Well, we got you on the phone. We're happy with that.
Yeah.
And it's time to say goodbye.
Can't wait until we have our own studio and we're like, doing our thing.
Yeah. Well, I have a studio I can use if we can get. Nobody's coming here for to come all. You might as well go to Grants, New Mexico. I mean, this place is so far out. Nobody comes to this part of the world. Nobody, even people who are in governors are like, "Where the fuck are you? Shoreham? Where the fuck is that?" The people who live on Long Island don't know where this town is. That's how remote it is. Anyway, it's time to say goodbye. You should sing the goodbye song. You know Carol Burnett goodbye song? Sing it. Go ahead.
I do not know Carol Burnett.
You know it. Come on, sing it. Go ahead. Don't act like you don't know it. You're acting like you don't know it.
I have no idea what it is.
Carol Burnett goodbye song?
Is it like goodbye for now or something? Like I have no idea, bro.
All right, I'll sing it. I'm so glad we had this time together just to have a laugh and sing a song. Seems we just get started, and before you know it, comes a time we have to say so long. And then she wicks her ear, and I think that thing with the ear was for her mother who was watching or some nonsense like that.
There was.
So now you know it. Well, sing it. Go ahead. I just sang it for you.
What?
Go ahead.
You know what?
I have to learn a song. I have to learn a song for Sunday. Give Heaven Some Hell, because I'm playing a country gig, and apparently a bunch of guys who just lost one of their bikers who just lost one of their crew has died, and they're coming and they want me to sing this song, Give Heaven Some Hell. It's kind of, are you familiar with the song by Hardy?
I'm not, but it sounds cool already. I'm interested.
It sounds cool, but it's not in my range. It's a difficult song for me to sing, so I've been practicing for a couple of days. Hopefully I'll have it. My concern is, they're coming to say a farewell to their friend.
If you watch it and they're
if
not
I
happy
fuck
with
it, I could end up being singing.
No,
you have to be singing that song about me 2 days from
now. Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
You better be good, boy.
Right? No, and that's pressure, bro. That's a real pressure.
I know. It's not a big hit. I think let me see on YouTube. It's only got like it's only got 42 million views. That's all. Just 42 million. Not
This
a big
song
hit.
sucks. Nobody likes it.
Nobody likes it except for those 42 million people. Uh,
Oh my God.
yeah,
That's
Hardy is the
great.
name of the group. Give heaven some hell. If you can
Yeah, I'm
picture
gonna
me
look it
singing.
up for sure.
All right.
Uh,
All
yeah.
right. Get the hell out. Have a good day. Have a good gig tonight. Tell Alice
Thank
Cooper
you.
I said school's out. Uh,
God damn it.
yeah. And tell him to fuck his guitar player for me. Ricky Roach clip. Ryan Roti or something like that.
I'm
Fuck.
sure Alex Hooper will care about none of those things that you just said.
I know, but no, you should talk to him like he's Alice Cooper and like, can I get your autograph and all that? I love when you did Schools Out, bro.
When I get off here, actually, so I'm gonna be. I got to try and get that GoPro, and I got to get out to SuperCon because we're. Me and Alex Hooper will be at SuperCon during the day today. Sometime I'm going to try and take a nap because the show time is 9:30, and there's certain drugs I don't do, and I don't want to, you know, I don't want
No,
to run into a problem where I'm dragging ass at like 8:30 and somebody's like, "Hey, I can help you." You know
yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean? So I
yeah,
need
yeah.
a nap eventually.
All
You
right.
know?
Well, yeah, go get a nap. But I would say really do it like let him know that you're just going to be fucking messing with him. But do a piece like you're like a fan who thinks he's Alice Cooper.
Okay, I will ask him if he's cool with that.
Yeah.
I will because he might see that as a good stick. And by the way, I'm definitely going to try and get him to come on the show and stuff. I know we're kind of booked up. Where are we booked up to?
Well, we have some time. Actually,
Okay,
Wednesday of next week would be a really good day. In the morning. What do I have? I think we don't have a morning show for Wednesday. Somebody asked for a Wednesday the 4th, but I thought I confirmed it. But we
yeah,
still have openings on Wednesday next week. I don't want to do anything on
okay,
Friday. That whole morning is going to be for Tommy. Um,
sure,
and then
yeah.
the next one is Friday the 13th. Also, before I
Ooh,
let,
ooh,
yeah,
I got confirmation this morning. I don't know. I can't look up the venue because it's on my phone. I am confirmed at a venue, but I'm going to appear as Jason Voorhees and do like a 20-minute set as Jason Voorhees on Friday the 13th in Albuquerque.
wow. We have
That will be
all
happening.
openings on in Columbus Day, Indigenous Peoples Day. The 9th is wide open. We don't have anybody booked for that day, so that's always a
Okay.
good one if somebody wants to do that. But before I let you go, really quick, now we're gonna say. I know I've said we're gonna say goodbye like 15 minutes ago. I'm thinking of doing a last year we did an extended show on Thanksgiving. I want to do like a potathon that's not a fucking fundraiser for somebody dying, just a general long-term podcast where we invite people on who've been on for the last year just to come on and say thank you. Around Thanksgiving, I want to plan some kind of extended thing, maybe on Thanksgiving Day as I get up at 6 a.m. to start cooking a turkey. And just make it along through the parade and football and all that kind of stuff, and just give
Right.
people pop in permission. Send out the link to everybody. Just pop in and say hello for a few minutes
Right.
to everybody who's been on for the last year, and that would be a cool
Yeah,
thing.
because Thanksgiving is really a different holiday than it used to be. I can attest to that from what I've seen. I have so many people in my life that don't do like the traditional family Thanksgiving. They do like Friendsgiving. They're usually meeting with a bunch of different people and stuff. Thanksgiving is really taking on a different shape, in my
Yeah. So, and it's a good chance to say for me to say thank you to everybody who
opinion. Yeah,
supported the program and been on the program, and so we did that last year and it was fun. It ended up being
yeah.
about 7 hours. But
I was a part of that, right? Didn't we? And we had Jess Paul on, like
Jess
making stuff.
Paul, and we had
Yeah,
Zach
that was
Wiseman, who
awesome.
was probably, I don't know, on another
Yeah, I
planet
wonder
now.
what happened to him. I tried to get a hold of him. He didn't message back.
Yeah, Andy Andrus was on that morning. It was that was a fun
Yeah,
little thing. I think Jamie
yeah.
was even popped in, and the Welsh, don't necessarily even celebrate Thanksgiving. It's not
I
it's an
mean,
American holiday.
why would they? Yeah.
Yeah. All right, I'm putting you out, and then I'm playing the song, and then I'm going. I got to go play for the old folks at home.
All right.
All right, see you later. Bye for now. All right, that's the show. I should go.
I'm smoking pot, I got my dick out, and I'm thinking about you, and I'm thinking about you.
Thinking about you, and I'm not smoking pot, but I don't have my dick out, but I am thinking about you. Anyway, have a great day. Thanks for coming. Don't forget to turn on your radio. Bye for now.
to me, listen to me now. Listen to me, listen to me, listen to me now. Listen to me, listen to me, listen to me now. Listen to me, listen to me, listen to me now.